That's how it be.
Hi, what's going on, guys? It is One Vision back with another video, and today I'm here with Youssef. What's going on, Youssef?
Hey, what's up, guys?
So basically, since we were on break last week, we've all been left with an unfillable void in our hearts. Like, my whole week has just been fucked up without that Kingdom Greatness on Sunday, and I know a lot of you feel the same, so we're just here to talk about it for a bit. We'll mainly discuss what we think could happen or what we would want to see next chapter. And this is actually our second time recording this, seeing as our first time our audio kept cutting out because my Wi-Fi just hates me. So if it stutters or lags out midway through, then yeah, I apologize. And yeah, without any further ado, what do you think, Youssef?
So, next chapter, I'm thinking first third or first half of the chapter. As we were talking about before, we're gonna see some Baggio greatness. Baggio ripping people from limb to limb, absolutely murdering them. Not as villains, of course, because our man Shin, he wouldn't accept that. But with the guards, that's fine. After that, I can see 2 or 3 pages spent with Jin and Tan, where Tan is going to kind of get a redemption from last chapter, where the guards and Jin, other people are going to be saying, there's a lot of other fights that are going to happen in this war where you're going to have a chance to shine. So, this is just one small step on the road to glory. So it's fine. You can step it up next time, man. And, there's going to be like a sad scene, something like that. I don't know.
One of the sad monologues.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to do it for my Nakama, something like that. And
I pretty much agree with everything that you said so far. Like, definitely the Baijo stuff. I don't think we can get anywhere through this chapter without any Baijo action. Like, I just don't see that happening. I don't think they could do that to us. So I definitely agree with you with that one. I think we're definitely getting some Baijo action. Like, he's just going to tear through those soldiers. There's nothing they can do once he's up there. Like, if anything, the first arc in Kingdom showed us how terrifying these mountain people actually are when they do anything combat-wise. Like, they're just terrifying. I think they said something about how 300 men took down an army of 3,000 or some shit like that. Like, they're insane. They're really not to be fucked with. And I really don't see anybody on those walls actually standing a chance against any of the mountain tribe, let alone Baijo himself. So I agree with you there. With the whole Jin and Tan stuff, I do want to see Tan get some redemption, as you said.
Because I think in the future, Tan is going to have a lot of time to shine. So this, just because he took an L here, doesn't mean that he's now a fodder character or something like that.
Exactly.
He can redeem himself. He's just not mature enough for war yet.
Thing that we both want to mention, there is like one specific scene that we both want to see happen. And if not the end of this chapter, then hopefully the end of the next chapter. But yeah, for that to happen, we're going to have to kind of see like an increase in pace for the chapters, because the last few chapters have been kind of slow paced a bit.
Yeah, because I'd say last chapter, I can agree that it has been slow paced. It definitely has, but last chapter, I feel like it was slow paced for a reason. And that was to hone in on these future great characters that need development right now. Because Jin and Tan in future aren't, unless one of them dies, undoubtedly going to become bows of China. And if we want to, see their greatness in future, we need to learn about them as soon as possible. We need to learn about their characters, and honing a whole chapter on them and showing that they do have some maturity problems, I think was great, because it gives a lot of space for Tan to grow.
Yeah, it's true. Like, the sooner they start showing off their imperfections, we seeing them slowly develop as the story goes along. Because like, there's one thing about Kingdom is that overall, like, maybe we might get a couple slow-paced chapters like these ones, but overall, the pacing of the whole manga is like so perfect. Like, we get natural time skips built in with the story. And like I found now, we see them as they're really young. They're young soldiers, let's say. And then we're probably going to get a time skip, maybe not really soon, but at some point. And then hopefully when we come back, we see them like developing at each stage. And I think it's good that he started off doing that quite early on rather than later. And it's interesting though, because if he had just made them like go all out and angry at everybody, like killing every single soldier, like, oh, you killed my father, all that type of shit, it would have been like, it wouldn't have suited their character. It would have just been like, oh, typical anime type of stuff. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, just a bunch of tropes.
they made them more human. It's like they aren't perfect characters. They recognize that they have these things that they need to work on. I think that's amazing that they actually managed to include that.
Exactly. Everyone in their first war is completely human, really. I mean, even if we go back to Shin in the Wei campaign arc, I think it was the first proper war arc. You know, even he was like a bit flustered and I wouldn't say shaky, but he wasn't completely ready for a war, I would say. So going back to what we think, what we hope will happen at the end of this chapter, or next chapter preferably, is, I mean, we all know we want to see Shin experiencing the weight of a general, the experience of cutting down men and gaining the light inside of them to push you to become a great general. And that is the first swing of Oki's Glaive. We're all just waiting for that moment, for that double page spread, because it's gonna be one of those like top quality Kingdom art we're gonna get. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, that would be so dope. Like, could you just imagine? So we get like this whole chapter of Baijo wrecking these people inside the gates, right? And then in like page before the final panel, he opens up the gate, riding in there on his horse, and just that one swing of the glaive, and it's just like that final double page spread, just fully detailed, and then that's just it, the end of the chapter.
See, I could see that happening.
If we got that.
If that didn't happen, then I would say what the other thing that could happen before that, because when I was thinking about this first swing of Oki's Glaive, I thought back to Oki's death. You know, we'd get kind of a short flashback, an inner monologue of Shin thinking about, this is the view of a great general. You see the land, the sky, the soldiers fighting in front of you. This is the view of a great general. And then we get the swing of the blade, and Shin's just thinking, I finally made it, or something like that.
Yeah, I actually see that being the better outcome than him just swinging the glaive. I think if they do a flashback of like the last moments of Oki's life when he hands him down the glaive, and then we get that epic scene of him swinging it, I feel like that would be a lot better than him just going in there and swinging it for the first time. Would have more weight behind it if they did the flashback first, if that makes any sense. It seems like that made me wish we actually had a good anime for Kingdom, because they would be so amazing anime. They just look so amazing, but it's just upsetting that we don't have that.
Well, it's always got to come back to that shit anime we've got. I mean, if we had a great anime for Kingdom, you already know we'd be getting Viz volumes for this. Like, they'd already be caught up to the series.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually looking into buying a couple of the
Japanese one. Yeah,
I was gonna literally buy all of them from 1 to, I think we're on like 47, maybe more now. I was actually gonna buy all of them, but then I realized the shipping cost was like an extra £200. I was like, you know what, fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to buy them bit by bit. Moving on to like the more unrealistic, maybe not unrealistic, but just what we want to see happen personally, whether it will or not. What kind of things are you looking for, like outside of what we've already said?
Well, I was thinking about a third Zhao Heaven coming in, but
yeah,
the last time that actually we only have 2, and the third seat has always just been open, which I didn't actually know.
The third seat was for
Keisha,
yeah, however you want to say it. Yeah, that's what. Well, it wasn't set out to be for Keisha, but Keisha was the closest person to reaching that level. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Shin killed him, so he's not there no more.
But I mean, next chapter, I can't see anything else happening apart from what we've already talked about. But what I really what I think will happen, maybe 2 or 3 chapters, is we're gonna go back to Raboku, and maybe the Zhao capital, some sort of discussion going on about a contingency plan for what happens after they take down this gate. Like maybe there's some extremely strong general of defense waiting for them further along the line that gives Riboku some hope.
Yeah, because at the moment, Riboku can't really do anything on his own. Like I do, like going on to the unrealistic predictions, I do want to see Riboku show up at some point in the very near future. Because otherwise, they're just going to take this like a cakewalk. It's just going to be simple for them. Because considering like the state of the city right now, where it's got no soldiers there because they're all with Riboku, it's hard for them to just sweep over this entire city. Amount of reserve forces they've got. So imagine if the Mountain Tribe people actually do fail. They've still got so many soldiers back there just itching for fighting. Like they're just itching for battle. So I feel like the only option is for Riboku to actually come and save them. So yeah, overall I think we're both like in pretty much 100% agreement as to what we think is actually going to happen next chapter. So I think to sum it up, number one, like for the first third or half of the chapter, we're going to get that Baizhu greatness. Like he's just going to go in there, tear up the city, and then hopefully open the gate.
And then I think we're going to get Tan's redemption. And finally, of course, that Shin swinging the Oki's glaive goat panel.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope. So yeah, let me know what all of you guys think in the comment section down below there. Do you think we're going to get some of that Shin greatness at the end? Do you think it's just going to be purely on Baijo and like the Mountain Tribe people? Do you think like they're going to do something completely different and like we're going to get completely thrown off? Like, for example, they might actually have like a sizable force inside this village. Like, who knows? It could be hidden. Check out Yusef's channel. He does a bunch of Kingdom stuff. He's been doing live reactions every week. And if you haven't seen it already, definitely go check out his Kanmei versus Mobu live reaction. That was fucking epic. Like I literally broke my phone watching that reaction. That's how dope it was.
No joke.
But yeah, man. Like the video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already for more of that Kingdom greatness. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.